Hey Aries, I just sat down with my deck and the energy coming through for you right now is something I needed to share immediately. We are exploring this theme around rest and recovery because honestly, your soul is speaking, and it is asking for something really specific right now. This is not about being dramatic or creating some big moment. This is just me pulling cards and feeling what the universe wants you to hear about taking care of yourself and honoring where you are in this journey. So I shuffled thinking about you, Aries, and what your spirit needs right now, and I pulled the first card. 10 of Pentacles came out, and I had to pause because this card is not what people expect when we talk about rest. Usually, 10 of Pentacles shows up for legacy, for family wealth, for that moment when everything you built finally comes together in this beautiful, stable foundation. But here it is in a reading about needing to rest and recover, and that is telling me something profound about your situation, right? Now, what I am seeing is that you have been building something massive, Aries. You have been in this mode of constant creation and effort and pushing forward because that is what you do, right? You are the pioneer. You are the one who charges ahead. But 10 of Pentacles here is showing me that you have actually already created something substantial. The foundation is there, the structure is built, and your soul is exhausted because you keep acting. Like you are still in the building phase when really you are in the maintenance and appreciation phase. The universe is asking you to recognize what you have already accomplished. There is this tendency, especially for fire signs, to always be looking at the next mountain to climb, and you forget to actually stop and see that you are standing on top of a mountain you already climbed. This card is about generational wealth and legacy, but in this context, it is about the wealth of experience you have accumulated, the internal resources you have built, the emotional and spiritual foundation that is actually really solid right now, even if you do not feel like it is. Your body is asking you to rest because the work of this particular phase is complete. Not forever, not that you will never build again, but this specific cycle of intense output has reached a natural completion point, and you need to honor that. When you keep pushing past the point where the work is done, you are not being productive. You are actually working against the natural rhythm of growth and rest that everything in nature follows. I am also seeing with 10 of Pentacles that rest for you right now is not just about stopping activity. It is about allowing yourself to receive the fruits of what you have already planted. It is about letting the harvest come to you instead of running out into the field every single day digging up the seeds to see if they have grown yet. There is a maturity that comes with 10 of Pentacles, and part of that maturity is understanding that constant effort is not actually the answer to everything. The second card I pulled is 7 of Pentacles, and okay, this is interesting because we have 2 Pentacles cards right away, which is really grounding your energy and pulling you into earth element wisdom. 7 of Pentacles is literally the card of the gardener who stops, leans on their tool, and looks at what they have grown so far. This is the pause for assessment. This is the moment of taking stock. What strikes me about this card in your reading, Aries, is that it is asking you a question. It is asking you to look at where you have been investing your energy and to honestly evaluate whether that investment is bearing the fruit you want it to bear. But more than that, it is asking whether you have given your efforts enough time to actually show results before you moved. On to the next thing. I feel like you might be someone who plants a lot of seeds, Aries. You start a lot of projects. You invest energy in a lot of directions. And that is beautiful. That is part of your initiating nature. But 7 of Pentacles is saying that some of what you planted actually needs time to grow, and you walking away from the garden to go start a new garden somewhere else is not helping. Anything reach maturity, rest and recovery in this context means staying in one place long enough to see what blooms. It means not abandoning your efforts just because you cannot see immediate results. There is something about patience here that your soul is learning, and I know patience is not the favorite word for Aries energy, but this is where your growth is happening right now. The figure in 7 of Pentacles looks tired. They have been working, but they are not collapsing. They are pausing with intention. They are taking a moment to breathe and observe. And in that observation, they can make better decisions about what to do next. Your rest is not laziness, it is strategic. It is gathering information about what is actually working in your life so you can make empowered choices about where to direct your energy when you do get back into action. I am also feeling that 7 of Pentacles is connected to a very specific kind of exhaustion, which is the exhaustion of not seeing immediate results. You have been working really hard at something, and maybe it feels like nothing is happening, and that is deeply frustrating for your energy, which wants immediate movement and visible progress. But this card is asking you to trust the process underneath the surface. Just because you cannot see growth does not mean growth is not happening. Moving into the third card, and I pulled Five of Wands, and this made so much sense in the context of why you need rest. Five of Wands is conflict. It is competition. It is everyone swinging their sticks around, trying to be heard and seen and validated. And I am getting that part of why you are so exhausted right now, Aries, is because you have been in an environment or a situation where there is just too much chaotic energy. Maybe it is actual conflict with other people. Maybe it is internal conflict where different parts of you want different things. Maybe it is just being in spaces where everyone is competing for attention and resources and you are tired of having to fight for your place. Five of Wands can be exciting when you are in the right headspace for it. That kind of dynamic creative tension can fuel innovation and growth. But when you are already depleted, it just feels like noise. What your soul needs right now is to step out of the arena. You do not need to engage with every challenge that presents itself. You do not need to prove yourself in every situation. You do not need to win every argument or competition. The rest you need includes resting from conflict, resting from comparison, resting from the constant need to assert your position. I am seeing that some of the exhaustion you feel is actually coming from defending yourself or your choices or your path to people who, frankly, do not need that information. You have been spending energy trying to make people understand you when really you could just be focusing on understanding yourself and moving according to your own internal compass. Five of Wands is also showing me that there might be some confusion about what you are even fighting for at this point. When you have been in struggle mode for too long, sometimes you forget what the original goal was, and you are just fighting, because fighting is what you know how to do. Your soul is asking you to put down the stick, walk away from the chaos, find a quiet space where you can hear your own thoughts again. The fourth card is King of Wands, and this is your energy, Aries. This is who you are when you are in your power. King of Wands is confident, charismatic, visionary, a natural leader who knows how to inspire others and make things happen. But even kings need rest. Even leaders need to step back and recharge. And I think what the universe is showing you here is that rest is not antithetical to your powerful nature. It is actually essential to maintaining it. When King of Wands appears in a reading about needing recovery, it is often because this energy has been running on fumes. You have been leading, creating, inspiring, showing up for people, holding space, making decisions, carrying responsibility, and you have been doing it all with your characteristic fire and passion, but underneath that, you are tired. Really tired. What I love about this card showing up is that it is reminding you of who you are at your core. You are not your exhaustion. You are not your depletion. You are still this powerful creative force. You just need to tend the fire right now instead of constantly using it to light the way for everyone else. Even the sun sets, Aries. Even the brightest flames need fuel. King of Wands is also about mastery, and I am feeling that part of your soul growth right now is mastering the art of sustainable energy management. Anyone can burn bright for a short period of time, but true mastery is knowing how to maintain your fire over the long term, knowing when to blaze and when to smolder, knowing how to conserve energy so you have it when you really need it. This card is also asking you to look at whether you have been performing your power rather than embodying it. Sometimes when we are depleted, we try to act like we are not. We put on the mask of confidence and capability even when we are running on empty. And that performance takes even more energy than just being honest about where we are. King of Wands in his healthy expression does not need to prove anything. His power is so integrated that he can be soft when he needs to be soft. The fifth card I pulled is Page of Wands, and this brought some interesting energy into the reading, because Page of Wands is all about new beginnings. Enthusiasm, that spark of inspiration when you first get excited about something. And I am seeing that your rest and recovery is actually going to lead you into a new phase of creativity and passion, but you have to complete the rest. First, Page of Wands is the messenger, and I feel like the message for you right now is that inspiration is coming. New ideas are forming. New directions are revealing themselves, but they need space to come through, and they cannot come through if you are completely full of old energy and old commitments and old ways of being. The rest you are being called into is creating space for something new to be born. There is also something here about returning to beginner's mind. Page energy is young, curious, open, willing to try things without needing to be perfect at them right away. And I am wondering if part of your exhaustion comes from having to be the expert all the time, having to have all the answers, having to be the one who knows what they are doing. What if rest included permission to not know, to be a student again, to explore without the pressure of mastery. I am also seeing that Page of Wands can indicate that you are on the verge of a new adventure, but your current state of depletion is blocking you from fully receiving it or engaging with it. It is like the universe is trying to hand you this gift of new energy and new direction, but your hands are too full of what you have been carrying. Rest is about putting things down so you can receive what wants to come through. The sixth card is Seven of Wands and Aries. This is confirming so much of what came through with Five of Wands earlier. Seven of Wands is the card of defending your position, standing your ground, fighting off challengers. The figure in this card is literally on higher ground, fighting off people who are coming at them with sticks. And you have been in this position for too long. What I am hearing very clearly is that you need rest from defensiveness. You need rest from having to protect yourself constantly. You need rest from feeling like you are under attack or under scrutiny or under pressure to prove your worth. This defensive stance is exhausting, and it is keeping you from accessing your natural flow. Seven of Wands can indicate that you have been holding a boundary, and that is important work. But there is a difference between holding a boundary and living in a constant state of siege. Your soul is asking you to evaluate whether the battle you are fighting is still necessary or whether you are fighting out of habit. Sometimes we get so used to being in warrior mode that we do not realize the war is actually over. I am also getting that Seven of Wands is about competition and comparison, and you might be exhausting yourself trying to maintain a certain position or status or level of achievement because you are worried about what happens if you slow down. What if someone passes you? What if you lose your edge? What if people forget about you? And your soul is saying that your worth is not determined by your constant productivity or your ability to stay ahead of everyone else. The rest you need includes trusting that you do not have to fight for your place. Your place is secure. You belong here not because you earned it through constant effort, but because you exist. And when you rest from that defensive energy, you might find that the attacks you thought were coming were not actually real, or that you have way more support than you realized when you were in fight mode. The seventh card is Four of Pentacles, and this is really interesting because Four of Pentacles is about holding on tightly, about control, about fear of loss. The figure in this card is literally clutching their coins, holding them close to their chest, not letting anything in or out. And in a reading about rest and recovery, this is showing me that part of what is exhausting you is the energy you are spending trying to control everything. You are tired because you are holding on so tight. Aries, you are trying to control outcomes, control how people perceive you, control your environment, control your own emotions and reactions. And all of that control takes massive amounts of energy. Four of Pentacles is asking you what would happen if you loosened your grip a little bit. What are you so afraid of losing that you cannot rest? I am also seeing that Four of Pentacles can indicate a scarcity mindset around time, energy, or resources. You might be holding back from resting because you feel like you cannot afford to. Like if you stop moving, you will lose momentum or opportunity or progress. But this card is showing me that the opposite is actually true. Your tight grip on everything is blocking flow, and when you rest and release some of that control, you actually create space for more to come in. There is something here about trust. Four of Pentacles is the absence of trust. It is trying to manufacture security through control. But real security comes from knowing that you are okay even when things change, even when you do not have your hands on everything, even when you let go. Your soul is inviting you to practice that kind of trust through rest. I am also getting that Four of Pentacles can show up when someone is being stingy with themselves, not allowing themselves to enjoy what they have because they are too worried about preserving it. And I am wondering if you are being stingy with rest, only allowing yourself tiny amounts of recovery because you are worried about falling behind or losing something. What if you gave yourself permission to truly rest, deeply rest, without rationing it? The eighth card I pulled is King of Swords, and this brings a very different energy into the reading. King of Swords is about clarity, logic, seeing through illusions, making decisions from a place of mental strength and truth. And what I am getting is that your rest needs to include mental rest, giving your mind a break from constant analysis and problem solving and strategizing. King of Swords is brilliant, but that brilliance can become exhausting when it never turns off. Your mind has been working overtime, Aries, processing information, making plans, figuring things out, trying to understand and categorize and make sense of everything. And your brain needs rest just as much as your body does. I am also seeing that King of Swords is asking you to use that mental clarity to see the truth of your situation, which is that you need rest. Not because you are weak, not because you have failed, but because you are human and humans need recovery time. Can you apply that logical mind to creating a plan for rest the same way you would create a plan for any other goal? Can you be strategic about your recovery? There is also something here about cutting through your own excuses. King of Swords does not accept nonsense, and I feel like you might have some stories running about why you cannot rest or why you need to keep pushing. This card is asking you to examine those stories with clear eyes and see them for what they are, which is often fear, dressed up as responsibility or productivity. King of Swords also represents being able to communicate your needs clearly, and I am wondering if part of your path to rest includes actually telling people that you need space and time to recover. Not asking permission, not apologizing, just stating the truth clearly and then honoring that truth through your actions. The 9th card is Two of Wands, and this card is about planning for the future, looking at possibilities, making decisions about which direction to take. The figure in Two of Wands holds the world in their hands and looks out over the landscape considering their options. And what comes through is that rest is not the end of your journey, Aries. It is preparation for the next phase. Two of Wands is telling me that you are standing at a decision point, and the choice you need to make right now is to rest and recover, so that when opportunities come or when it is time to move again, you actually have the energy and clarity to choose wisely. If you keep pushing through exhaustion, you are going to make decisions from depletion, and those decisions will not serve your highest path. I am also seeing that Two of Wands is about vision, and your vision for your future needs to include cycles of rest built into it. This is not just about recovering from this current state of exhaustion. This is about fundamentally shifting how you approach your energy and your life so that you do not end up depleted again. What would it look like to build rest into your plans the same way you build in work and goals and achievement? There is something really powerful here about recognizing that you have options. You are not trapped in constant action. You can choose to rest. You can choose to step back. You can choose to honor your needs over external demands. Two of Wands is the card of personal power, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose rest, even when everything around you is saying to keep going. The 10th and final card is Four of Pentacles, and wait. I already pulled this card. Let me check my deck. Actually, I am looking at my spread again, and the 10th card is actually 10 of Pentacles, which also came up first. I need to draw a different card here. Let me pull again for this final position. The actual 10th card is Two of Wands, which I also already discussed. I am going to draw one more time to get clear energy for this final message. The true 10th card coming through is Page of Cups, and this brings such beautiful, gentle energy to close out your reading. Page of Cups is about emotional openness, creativity, intuition, messages from the heart. This card often appears as a messenger of love, and what I am getting is that the message your heart has for you right now is very simple, and it is that you are worthy of tenderness. You have been so focused on being strong and capable and powerful, Aries, and all of those things are true about you, but you are also allowed to be soft. You are allowed to be vulnerable. You are allowed to need care and gentleness and rest. Page of Cups is inviting you to treat yourself the way you would treat someone you deeply love who is exhausted and needs support. I'm also seeing that Page of Cups represents creative inspiration, and when you rest, you are going to find that your creativity comes back in a different way. Not the forceful, pushing creative energy you might be used to, but something more fluid, more intuitive, more connected to your emotions and your inner world. Your rest is going to open up new channels of creative expression. There is something here about play too. Page of Cups is young and playful, and I am getting that your soul is asking you to remember how to play, how to do things just because they bring you joy without any goal or purpose or productivity attached to them. When was the last time you did something purely for the pleasure of it? When did you last let yourself be silly or spontaneous or completely unproductive? That is part of your healing. Page of Cups is also about listening to your intuition, and your intuition has been telling you that you need rest for a while now. You have probably been getting signs and signals from your body, your emotions, your dreams, your energy levels. This card is asking you to honor those intuitive nudges instead of overriding them with your mind or your will. Your body knows what it needs, and it is asking you to listen. So Aries, here is what I am seeing in this whole reading. You have built something substantial and solid in your life, represented by 10 of Pentacles and 7 of Pentacles, but you are exhausted from the building process and from defending what you have created, shown by 5 of Wands and 7 of Wands. You are holding on too tightly, shown by 4 of Pentacles, and your mind is working overtime, shown by King of Swords. You are at a choice point, represented by 2 of Wands, where you can choose rest and recovery, which will lead to new inspiration, shown by Page of Wands and emotional. Renewal, shown by Page of Cups. The universe is not asking you to rest because you have failed or because you are weak. It is asking you to rest because you are powerful, and your power needs to be sustained over the long term. Rest is strategic. Rest is productive. Rest is how you prepare for the next phase of your journey. I really feel like this message needed to reach you today. There is no shame in needing recovery time. There is no weakness in admitting you are tired. The strongest thing you can do right now is honor what your soul is asking for, which is space and time and gentleness. Trust that when you rest, everything you have built will still be there, and you will have so much more clarity and energy to engage with it and grow it and enjoy it. Thank you for letting me share this reading with you. I hope it resonated and gave you permission to do what your heart has been asking for. Take care of yourself, Aries. You deserve that care.